Our next speaker is our last contribution in this section on quantum sensing and other quantum technologies has two speakers. They are Michael Förtsch and Maik Gränitz. And Michael has a degree in math and physics. He obtained his PhD from the MPI for Science and Light. And he's working for 6 years now with the company Trumpf, and for 3 years with their spin-off Q.ANT, of which he is also the CEO. And our second speaker here, Maik Gränitz, he obtained a degree in business administration and engineering, and he joined SIG in 2020, where he works as a strategic product manager. So welcome, Michael, welcome, Maik, to our stage Bob here at Quantum Summit. We're looking forward to an interesting talk on your joint cooperation project on particle sensing based on quantum sensors, on developing an industrial quantum sensor. I think we're very curious, and thank you for being with us. I'm looking forward to your talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for this nice introduction. Great to be here. It's really a pleasure to present the joint development which we're doing for I think 2 years now together with SIG. And our mission for this talk today is to convince you that the combination of a startup and a large enterprise is exactly what you need to increase on the one side the development speed, and thereby reducing the time to market for a novel product. But who exactly are we? So on the first page, we give a short introduction to our two companies. So we're Q.ANT, we're a startup which was spun off from Trumpf in 2018. And our vision is to industrialize quantum technology of the second generation. And our main focus is to do this with our expertise in photonics. So we are focusing on quantum technology based on photonics. So this is what we are doing.
Yes, and we are from SIG. We are a technology and market leader for sensor solutions, and sensor system, especially for the fabric, logistic, and process automation. And we are a well-established partner all over the world, and a reliable partner more than 70 years. And since last year, now we have more than 10,000 employees worldwide.
And together we started to talk about how we can endeavor this quantum technology of the second generation already 2 years ago. But what is exactly the difference when we talk about the second generation and the first generation? Well, obviously, if you talk about the second generation, there must be a first generation. And to illustrate this, I've drawn this cartoon to explain how we see the world in very, very basic pictures. So the quantum technology of the first generation, and by the way, both companies where we originate from, Trumpf and as well SIG, they have their success is partially based on such kind of technologies. And if you want to compare it with this picture, the first generation to me is controlling collective ensembles of quantum states. So in this illustrative picture, it's like a water tap, and you can control the jet of water. And this has led to disruptive technologies of the 20th century. And what we were discussing for 2 years and developing are first sensors which exploit quantum technology of the second generation. And the second generation to me is that we can control via technology individual quantum states, and thereby start to exploit and access additional quantum phenomena. 3 of them on the next page are, for example, the superposition, the uncertainty relation, and we exploit quantum entanglement. And I guess you all appreciated many talks here in this summit, during this summit, which give you a good overview of how disruptive this exploitation of these novel quantum phenomena will be. So from our perspective, we will see big changes in quantum communication, clearly in the field of sensing and vision. sensing and measurement, and then vision and imaging, as well as is omnipresent in the media nowadays in computation and simulation. But what does it take, or what do we need in order to realize these novel applications and exploiting these novel quantum phenomena? Well, everything starts by getting the technology right. And this is what we call enabling technologies. And these enabling technologies, they are not necessarily quantum. It's rather like that we, for example, have to develop more robust and precise lasers that are working under industrial environment conditions. Or in other sectors, it's important to industrialize cryogenic technology. Or something which is evident and omnipresent in all of those technologies, we need to improve on our electronics. And this is exactly where we from Q.ANT start off. So you can think about that we basically develop the core technology or the enabling technology in order to realize novel systems in any of those fields. And if we explain customers what we are really developing at Q.ANT, you can think about it like an electron to electron converter. We receive electrons in form of steering signals or just current from our customers. We then transform it into light and exploit quantum phenomena on the photonics level. And then we transform it back in electrons and generate data. And this is then basically sent to our customers. And by this, we started the first developments. And one of our first products you can see on the next slide, it's this particle sensor. What you see here is the prototype, which we are currently assembling. And we exploiting here superposition states of light. On the slide, you see the latest iteration, and we will complete the development of this prototype by the end of June, which means that we are expecting to send first of those sensors to concept customers by July. But what is exactly what the customer appreciates? Well, I told you that we are exploiting, and we are the first that who exploit superposition states of light in order to characterize particles. But this is nothing a customer would give $1 for. It's rather the 5 USPs, unique selling propositions. So the features these systems now provides to the customers. The first one is, for example, that this system is able to characterize particles in liquid and in gases. In order to let our customers appreciate this, we designed the inside of the system as a modular system where we have different slide-in modules where the customer can decide whether they want to measure gases or whether they want to measure liquids, or if needed by the customer, they can develop their own slide-in module, which fits perfect to their processes. The second one comes with us exploiting the superposition states of light. While other sensors focus on measuring, for example, the size of the particles, we measure three parameters at once. We measure the speed of the particle, the size of the particles, and we measure the flight direction. And by combining these 3 data points for each droplet or for each particle in the measurement volume, we can increase the information density. And this leads then in the end to better data models, which is the real unique advantage of this system to our customers, because this will improve their industrial measurement processes. The third one is that the system is real-time compatible, meaning it can be used as in or online process control in industrial processes. The fourth one is something that might sound surprising. Quantum technology enables an insensitive and a more insensitive measurement system, which is insensitive to harsh environment and polluted environment. This is something that's highly appreciated by the customers, because usually the systems where we are planning to install it, they are not in a clean environment, but they can also be in a real world fabrication side where dust is definitely can influence such kind of measurements. And the last one is that we designed our hardware as well as our software to be customized for our customers. This is clearly not a quantum feature, but still highly appreciated by our customers. And on the next slide, I just give you a short overview of we already demonstrated. So there are several plots which we witnessed that the sensor principle itself is measuring how we expect this. So we demonstrated that we can measure particle velocities of up to 50 meters per second. We demonstrated with various functional models that our sensor principle can measure droplets from 500 nanometers up to 600 microns. We verified that we can characterize the flight direction in X and Y direction with a resolution of 1 micron. And the last one, we simulated pollutions, and we indicate, or we see clearly that pollution of up to 50% does not at all influence our measurements. And how these features are transformed into access to markets, this is what my colleague Maik will explain you in the second part of this talk.
So thank you, Michael. Hello, everybody, also from my side. Right now, I want to take you on the journey how SICK will implement this new technology into our SICK industries. And yeah, the first slide here, as you can see, it's all about success factors. So there are several success factors which need to be evaluated and analyzed, and which need to be suitable to be fit to a market. Here on the left-hand side, you can see the benefits, the general benefits of the quantum technology sensor, as Michael explained you 2 slides ago. That's why I don't go into details here. But these benefits are only one of many, many success factors which need to be analyzed, evaluated, and which need to be fit to make a market technology fit out of it. So, for example, worldwide, SICK, so myself, is looking on regulations. We need, of course, to find markets where SICK has process know-how and expertise. We need to understand and discuss customer requirements. We need to go for markets which are stable and growing and have potential for our collaboration. We need to compare technologies and today's solutions so that we find out whether our benefits from the quantum technology are superior compared to today's solutions. We need to go for markets where we have market access. So we need a good relation to customers to find out more regarding the customer requirements and to go, for example, in collaborations for test fields. And also the pricing structure of current technology, of course, plays a role to be successful. And if we evaluate all of these success factors, we mark down 3 different industries or markets where we believe quantum technology plays a role in the SICK future. And we go here in detail. So the first one, it's all about powder processing. So on the picture, it's just an example. You can see a pharmaceutical powder for the tablet production. And the target here is the continuous particle size analysis. So currently, quality analysis, so particle analysis is mainly done in laboratories, which works, of course, but it takes some time. And our idea is to continuously in real time, in situ and in line, measure particle size distributions and be so more fast and more efficient and optimize the quality control and also make possible to control the manufacturing process itself. So for example, we could optimize and automate the grinding process of powders. The second one, it's the fine dust monitoring industry. So when we talk about fine dust, it's all about PM2.5 and PM10. You might hear of it. So these are fine dust levels to protect human health. And our target here is the underground monitoring and control of these fine dust level. So underground, that means vehicle tunnel, metro tunnel, also train tunnel, so everything underground. And the benefit here is the real-time verification of compliance with fine dust limit values. So if the operator has all the time a real-time picture of the particulate matter, so of the fine dust, he's able to optimize the ventilation control, and he's also able to save energy. In many countries all over the world, for example, in metro applications, the tunnel system or the ventilation system is still controlled manually by the operator. And if they have a real-time picture of the particulate matter, so of the fine dust, it makes it possible to automate the ventilation system and then to save energy. Market number 3, where we think the sensor could be beneficial, is a clean production, so semiconductor industry, with the monitoring of the contamination source. So if you imagine a wafer with a lot of chips on it, so 1,000 chips on it, and the particle sets on the wafer, it might destroy the whole wafer. So the wafer needs to be scrapped. The measure need to take out of the production line, and then you start the failure source analysis, which can take from hours until several days, until several weeks, a long time. And our idea is, due to we get more out of the measurement values, so we have particle size distribution, we have particle speed, we have particle direction, to say more about the particle source itself. So whether it comes from a robotic arm or whether it comes from a human body, for example. And the benefits here would be the reduction of the machine downtime and source analysis, reduction of contaminated wafer, and in general, the process and yield optimization. Now I would like to go in detail for the powder processing market. The customer access, as I said, is one success factor. We from SIG, due to our huge range of product portfolio from light barriers until dust analyzers and particle analyzers, we are in a lot of particle processes anyway. And we have a close contact to our customers, which enables us to discuss new technologies and to go in collaborations, for example. Secondly, the powder market. It's hard to talk about the powder market. It's huge, it's growing. And here just some examples. For example, in the pharmaceutical industry, we talk about powders for the tablet manufacturing. Within the chemicals, we talk about manufacturing of composites. We have cement, we have coffee as an example for food and beverage, and many more like paints, inks, colors, and so on. And what they have all together, particle size and distribution is relevant due to it had direct influence on the properties of the product and therefore on the quality of the product. These properties never come alone, usually in a bulk, so please take this as an example. But due to the tablet or within the tablet production, for example, the solubility is directly influenced by particle size analyzation and really important. When we talk about chemicals, for example, the bulk density. In the cement industry, particle size distribution is directly influencing the product strength. When we talk about coffee, for example, if the particle size is out of a specific range, the taste can be influenced and the coffee can taste bitter or sour, for example. And viscosity, this is more or less applicable for all powders here. And on the right-hand side, you can see the benefits which we see from the quantum sensor, especially in the powder market. So due to its fastness, it enables us for continuously real-time process control and optimization. Due to the measurement principle itself, it makes it possible that the lenses are nearly insensitive to contamination. So currently, the cleaning of the lenses and the whole sensor, for example, needs to be done on a daily or weekly basis, and this can be reduced. Particle shape and particle surface is sometimes for specific other measurement technologies an issue due to it has a relation on the accuracy. Our measurement principle is independent from particle shape, so no influence on the accuracy. Last but not least, calibration. Calibration needs to be done on a monthly or quarterly basis, which usually is done from the sensor or from the measurement equipment manufacturer, or sometimes from well-trained experts from the manufacturer. We think about to integrate a self-calibration system, or at least an easy calibration system, what can everybody do, and which is easy to do by himself and not with the service technicians from the manufacturer of the sensor. Yeah. So we come to an end. Yes, we hope you enjoyed our little journey from the sensor to how SIG will implement this, or is planning to implement this onto our industries. Maybe one update regarding the next milestones. So within our collaboration, we will start the test field applications at specific customers by later on this year. And yes, for more details, questions, everything, please feel free also to meet us, of course, in the speaker's corner, where we wait for you in a minute later.
Nice, interesting talk, very convincing results. I think it's a very professional approach. People can see that how far you've already gotten with your development and also with the analysis of the markets here and the potential users. I think that is quite impressive. So thank you very much for this detailed insight into the sensor. And I take it that the main field of application will most probably be the particle analyzer here, the particle size analyzation in different fields. My question would have been to point out maybe the next milestones, but you've already done that now at the end. So thank you for that too. As you've mentioned, you will be available in the speaker's corner in the next 15 minutes. So I will see you off now to there. I want to thank you once again for being with us and showing us the current state of development here, how far you've gotten already. Everyone's invited to join you there in the next 15 minutes in the Meet the Speakers section. Goodbye at this point from me to you too.
Thank you. Goodbye as well.
Thank you very much.